Well, I'm gonna go with Country Truck Cookins. They better be open.
They might. You need to call and see. Well, check the Insta. Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna go.
What's going on YouTube? It's Kevin and Mikkel. We are back with another video. I hope you guys had a great weekend despite all of the rain. I mean, when it rained. But yesterday it was much better. The sun was out, it rained, and then the sun came back out. And at first I wasn't going to go out. You know, I wasn't going to go nowhere. And then my friend Eddie was like, come on, Kevin, you got to come out. So I'm like, all right, you know. I called them, like, to see if I was going to go out. And then I went out and I had a nice time at the little, at the mixer here in Philly. It's not really a mixer, but it's called By Sundays, where people, I would say people of a certain age, my crowd and up, or like 27 and up, you know, everybody had a nice time. It was fun, and I came on home. So that was my weekend. How was your weekend?
It was short. All day Saturday. Well, Saturday I had to get up extra early because I had to go to this funeral on Saturday, and the funeral started so early. I've never been to a funeral that started at 9 o'clock. That was so early.
Well,
so I had to get up.
Person?
Well, it was a former member of my church, and a lot of people, you know, from my church were going, and I took one of my aunts. I had to, you know, picked her up and took her.
Yeah, you had to get up early.
Yes. I got up 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I didn't get home until like after 5 because after that, on third Saturdays of the month, we do community feeding at my church, where they feed like the community, whatever the case may be. They have, you know, all, you know, give out free clothes and all that stuff. So we went to my church after that, and whatever the case may be, and we were supposed to. Some of us were supposed to start cleaning the main sanctuary for us to move back in there, but enough people didn't come out to help do that. So tomorrow after work, I'm gonna go because we're gonna go early in the morning and then in the evening too. So by next Sunday for our communion,
we're gonna get back in the church,
main sanctuary. Yeah. But then yesterday, Sunday, oh my God, I told my boss today. He was like, "You look tired." I said, "I am." Yesterday, Sunday, was my pastor. This September, he's going to be celebrating 25 years as our pastor of our church. And yesterday was the first kickoff pre-celebration to his 25th anniversary. So we're going to be doing something special once a month for him leading up to his anniversary in September. And yesterday we had 2 services. We were just talking about multiple services. And we had 2 services yesterday. And I got to church like around 10 o'clock yesterday morning, and I didn't leave until after 6.
Yeah.
And I usually after church, right? After church, I usually go home and take a nap, but I couldn't even do that because then I would have been not been able to go to work. So yeah, it was a long day, but the second service was awesome.
Yeah,
yes.
He preached both services.
No, my pastor. No, he didn't. My pastor was supposed to preach in the morning, but we had a guest pastor in the morning.
You ain't like
he. I don't know.
So he wasn't like the
second service with the second pastor in his church. That was awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay.
How old was the first pastor?
Well, he was an older guy, but it didn't have nothing to do with him being old. It just had everything to do with him not sticking on topic. He just started talking. It's like, what are you talking about? And then it makes it even more upset. It was like, you know, when you're younger, you be like, you go to church for the music and stuff, this and that. But as you get older, you become an adult, you realize that church is about hearing God's word. And so now I'm at that point, I'd be like, I want to hear the word. And yesterday morning, I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, I'm like, what? Where's the mess? But anyway, second service made up
for the first.
So it was awesome. Yeah. But it just seems like the weekend just went by too fast.
Yeah. So, we're going to get into these topics, but before we do that, I want to give a shout out to the new sponsors to the Scorpion Show. I know we didn't do it last week, so if I missed your name, please leave in the comments down below that I missed you, and I will make sure that I do it on the next video because I know that I missed some people. And on Wednesday, we are doing our monthly live stream at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube for all the sponsors of the Scorpion Show at 6 p.m. I'm going to give a shout out to Anatalia Singleton, Rhea Post Clips, Prudence, Myra Reed, Farrah Love, Veronica Taylor, Johnny Bridgman, Danny Girl, 562, and Naisha Hodges. Thank you all for becoming sponsors to the Scorpion Show. And again, on this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we will do our May live stream for our sponsors only. So if you are not a sponsor, you'd like to sponsor our channel, to sponsor is $4.99 a month, and the link is inside the More Info box. And also, August 11th, on a Saturday here in Philadelphia, will be the Scorpion Show's 10th anniversary live show. And we are doing it at the Free Library of Philadelphia at the Montgomery Auditorium. It starts at 2 p.m. I'm about to say 2 p.m. Eastern like it's going to be broadcasted. It's going to be starting at 2 p.m. If you have not purchased your tickets, the link is inside the More Info box to purchase your tickets. People have been asking about shirts. I'm working on getting all of that done and working for you guys so we can get it on the website so you can get your shirts as soon as possible, because it's been 10 damn years, and I'm so excited for that day. And I hope that you make it to Philly to be a part of our special day on August 11th to celebrate 10 years of the Scorpion Show. So we're going to get into this video. We're going to start with the royal wedding. Now, some people may have claimed that they were not interested in the royal wedding, but all up and down my timeline on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram have been talking about the royal wedding.
And you know I was one of those people. And I had no plans on even tuning in.
Okay.
But because Saturday morning I had to wake up early for that funeral, I said, let me just turn this fucking TV on.
Yes.
And it was all over the news.
Yes, it was.
Oh my God.
On every channel.
But I did get to see when they exchanged vows and said, you know, I will, whatever. But I didn't get to see when he gave her the ring. Do they do that? Do they do
I don't remember him doing that part. I remember them taking the vows, but I remember
when they took. I saw when they took the vows, and then they went and sat down, and then and then after that, I had to leave. But I saw enough when she was on her way to the church, which is good. Yes. When I turned on the TV, she was on her way to the church.
Yes.
So I was like, good,
exactly.
I gotta wait.
Exactly. Because they tell my coverage starts at 4 a.m. No. Who's waking up that early to watch the news? But not me.
Yeah.
But 30 million Americans watched the wedding. And that's at 7 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was up watching the wedding.
On a Saturday morning.
Yes. And so many people claim they're not watching it. 30 million people watched it. And even I was on YouTube live stream. So shout out to those who watched the wedding with me. And shout out to the bishop who preached at the wedding. Now, you know, this wasn't your traditional royal wedding. You had, first of all, he was a, what they call him, the Episcopalian leader, the first black Episcopalian leader. I don't know what that means, but oh yeah, he was good, Mikhail. 16 minutes preaching about love and talking about Martin Luther King and talking about the slaves.
Well, this was a very diverse wedding.
Yes, it was.
Because there was a lot of blacks.
Black choir.
There's a lot of diversity.
Yes.
The bride was black.
I've had my moments, but he was definitely a highlight. And my highlight also was when she was walking, Megan was walking down the aisle, and I'm thinking they playing like a CD or something. But bitch, when I saw that opera singer hitting those notes, she was on point.
CD at the royal wedding?
I don't know why I was thinking that.
I don't know why either.
I don't know why. But she was just, her with the orchestra and her just, it was so angelic, her voice. It was just beautiful. Everything, that whole service was beautiful. I was only, I'm getting chills thinking about it. But the only thing I didn't like the mother sitting by herself. But what was so beautiful was the camera angle. When the camera was on Megan with her mom sitting in the back row, you can see her mother right behind her fighting back the tears.
Well, she wasn't in the back row.
No, the second row, but you know.
But that's the family side, so she wasn't by herself.
I felt like she didn't have any other the family members come.
Well, that's that we don't know of.
She don't. They claim that she was the only family member.
Wasn't her sister there?
No. Let them see. You know what? Normally, when you talk about the black people and they all ratchet and stuff, it's her white side of the family that's doing the shows. Yeah, stunts and shows. Yeah, and
I'm happy Prince Charles was able to walk her halfway down.
It was nice. It was just a beautiful wedding. I was so happy for her. And something I noticed, I could be wrong, or some people might not like me saying this, but I feel like Harry is more in love with her than she is in love with him. And you can tell by the way he looks at her. They were showing like him speaking to her, telling her she looks amazing and I'm so lucky. And
well, I mean, but from what I was told, this is not her first wedding.
No, it's not.
Right, so she's been down this aisle before.
Yes.
Not this particular aisle.
No.
But she's been down this aisle before. This is his first time. So he probably is not saying that she's not in love and not saying that he doesn't love her, but I think more so this is his first time and he's excited. She's done this before. She's been somebody's wife before. So she knows the protocol of getting married and all that. And I'm sure she definitely loves him.
Yeah, I know she loves him.
It just didn't come across.
It's like the affection. You can tell he is in love with her, and she's putting up with all of this with the royal family because you know it's a bunch of rules and guidelines. I wasn't particularly in love with her dress.
It was simple.
It was simple.
I liked it.
But $300,000 for that dress.
I like. Well, you know, we all know you're buying the name.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying for, the name. Paying for the name.
And I don't even
because I've seen way better wedding looking dresses for cheaper than that.
Davis Bridal.
But I think that, I was happy to actually see his grandparents. Because his grandfather's 97, his grandmother's 92. His grandfather's been in and out of the hospital. But for me, I watched The Crown on Netflix, and it's a great show. And I can't wait for next season, because next season...
Oh, you watched all the second season too?
I watched the whole show.
I know that's
Are you kidding me?
I
watched the whole show. Are you kidding me? I love that show. It's a really good show. And it's funny because throughout the show, when certain things happen, I'll pause it and Google like certain events, and I'm like, wow. And then it's so crazy because the show will have certain outfits really similar to when the actual event happened. Like I remember one scene on The Crown, they were telling the Queen that back when she was younger, that she needed to be a little bit more personable because a lot of people felt like they didn't know her. And so one year, I think it was like 1955 or something like that, she did a Christmas message, and it was her first message televised to the people of England. And I went and I actually YouTubed that actual Christmas message, and it was like, wait, it looks like she's wearing the same exact thing. Like, wow, like the costume people on the show, they got it down pat. But it's a really good show. And to actually see the two people who are the main characters, the Queen and her husband, still living, and to know that this show is based off of them and they're still living. As I was watching, I said, wow, they had an interesting first few years of marriage because it was hard for him, her husband.
How did they treat him?
It was hard for him because he was from a German family. He was from royalty, but his family was like German. And at that time during World War II, England was fighting Germany, whatever the case may be. His mother was crazy. She was a mental case, schizophrenia.
Ooh, don't tell me no more because I want to watch this.
It's really good. It's a really good show. But his sister, who helped raise him because his mother was crazy. His sister who helped raise him, she was killed in a plane crash early on. And he was sent to this boy, like a boarding school, whatever the case may be. He was really hard on Prince Charles when Prince Charles was coming up because he wanted him to be something. But Prince Charles was not really trying to go in that direction of his father. The Queen was more so baby and her son. Her family, they liked her husband, but they really didn't care too much for him, whatever the case may be. They felt as though he wasn't royal enough because he was like a playboy when he was younger. He was doing all this. It's a really good show. It's a really good show. The Crown on Netflix. It's a really good show. And this next season, you're actually going to see when they start to get older. Okay. So the characters that were on the first two seasons are no longer going to be, well, the actors, not the characters, the actors are not going to be, because the actors on the first two seasons are when they were young. So now it's like new actors are going to come in as they get older. So,
but they're going to keep.
But it's still the same what's name, but it's just like they're getting older.
Yeah.
So it's going to be new actors, a little older actors playing them. So it's really interesting, and I really like it. So like I said, to see the two of them sitting there, it's like, wow. I watch y'all on Netflix, but it's not really them.
Yeah. And people, people was doubting Meghan Markle and her black side and everything, and she showed y'all that, she's black because she did not leave out her black roots at all. And it was just amazing. And then the cellist, he was amazing.
The black young guy, 19 years old.
I mean, he was passionate on that cello. I've never seen anybody that passionate. Like, he was serious about what he was there to do, and he did the thing. Everybody. You know, at first I thought the choir was a little shaky. I was like, oh no. But then once they got into it, and then the choir director, she got into it. I seen an interview with her on Channel 10, and she was saying like she didn't even believe that that they were even going to be doing this, and they knew months ahead of time. She was just like, it just all felt like a dream, knowing that this is going to happen, but to actually do it, it was just
to
amazing.
actually watch it. I was noticing that the actual setting of the wedding, the church, was not that big.
No, it wasn't.
Because when you go back and you watch the wedding of Harry's parents, Prince Charles and Princess Diana from 1981, they were in a big cathedral. And I mean, Princess Diana had to walk down alone with her father.
Yes.
It was a lot
And I watched
of people.
it.
And this particular wedding it wasn't that many people, and it felt more intimate. It really did feel intimate. I thought everything was, I just think that was so dope. Like,
Yes.
I think weddings are dope, to be honest with you, even though I know some of y'all be like, but you go to all these funerals. I think they're dope too. But I think weddings are yes.
Depending on which one you go to.
Yeah, okay. Because I've been to some random funerals.
Yeah.
But I think that weddings are really dope.
Yes.
I just think that's a dope thing. And I can't wait because my cousin, she was, her boyfriend proposed to her last week or 2 weeks ago. Last week, her graduation at Temple, and he proposed to her.
Oh.
And you know, we have a huge family, so I was talking to her later on that day. And I was like, well, you know, you have to have a big wedding. She said, I know, like, because you know, I have a big family. So she has a date set for next August, and she said that she wants to plan for a year, you know. She already has a venue that she wants, and I said, oh, and I Googled the venue, it's so beautiful. I said, oh. So I can't wait. I really do like weddings. The only thing is you don't have too many people getting married like that.
No. I've been to how many weddings in my life? Probably 3. Probably 3. Probably 2.
I've been to maybe 3. Maybe 3 or 4.
And I'm talking about this is in the span of 12 years. My last one was my cousin.
Yeah.
And then I went to my coworker's wedding.
From 2005 to last year, I think I've only been to 3 weddings. From 2005 to last year. And
3. I've been to 3.
yeah, I think it's only been 3 weddings. My 2 cousins, and there was a member at my church, he got married last year. But my 2 cousins, my one cousin, Thomas, I tell people to this day, his wedding was awesome. The place where he got married, and then the reception, the big, Have you ever heard of, if you're in Jersey or Philly, you ever heard, it's a place called Lucian's Manor. Even if you're not in Philly, you can Google it and see how it was awesome. It was awesome. And the sad thing about it is I kind of felt bad because it's so big, and he still couldn't invite all of the family members on my side because of the fact that you got to remember it's 2 people, so you have to, you know, it was awesome. I just was happy I got an invitation. Okay. To the wedding and the reception.
Oh, good.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to move away from the royal wedding, and we're going to talk about another couple, Barack and Michelle. Barack and Michelle Obama has signed a multi-year deal with Netflix, bringing new movies and shows and all kinds of other things to the network. So if you do not have a Netflix subscription, I think you might want to.
Well, they should have had it by now anyway, because
Yes.
Netflix has been on.
Yeah, they've been on point. Even though that $12 now is worth it because it's something for everybody.
Yes,
it's
it
no
is.
excuse on why you shouldn't have a Netflix.
It's really good now. For the past 2 years, it has been good.
And they come out with all of these original movies, original shows. It's like it's so much on Netflix that you can get caught up in it. So I'm just happy for Barack and Michelle that even though they're not, you know, in the White House no more, they're still making money moves. So shout out to Barack and Michelle Obama. Andy Cohen did he had a conversation with Jane McCarthy on her radio show, where he felt like the ladies of the Real Housewives of Atlanta ganged up on Kim at the reunion, and if he could do it over, he would have got up and walked away from the scene.
Wait, he felt like they ganged up on Kim?
Yes.
But he didn't feel that way.
Exactly.
That because he confronted her in the bathroom about it, and he.
Yep.
So now he has a change of heart.
Yeah, he feels like Kim really wasn't in a position to defend herself or fight with her words, and he felt that he should have got up and left. But my thing is,
why leave? He was the moderator, or why not just take the questioning and divert it somewhere else rather than on Kim? Why leave? Why would he have to get up and leave?
Because I guess he felt like he said he felt like they were out of control. It got out of control, and he wasn't really steering the ship. That's why he felt like he should have got up and walked off. But he said the other shows, like the other reunion shows, don't make him feel that way. But it was just in that particular moment, that's what he should have done. But I felt like this was the only opportunities for the ladies to get Kim, and that's to get Kim for everything that she said throughout the season. So I didn't feel bad for Kim, not one bit. Did she feel bad for all the things that she said and did before she got ganged up on? No. So I don't feel sorry for her. And he said that he had no idea that when he went in the bathroom that they were going to show that on the show. He thought that they were just going to edit it out or whatever, but they showed everything.
I don't believe
so. You know, this is all according to him.
I think more so he's now regretting because because the racial accusations came about.
Yeah.
And I think that he didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. If anything, I feel like he didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
But
Kim actually is the one that made it about the race thing.
She did.
Because it wasn't about race at all.
She did.
Yeah,
she did.
You know, some people may call Kim a racist, but I don't know if she's a racist. Sometimes she has her racist ways or the things that she has done, like having, you know, because when she had Sweetie as her, something, I can't think of the name, it did kind of feel like she was her slave. The way she'd be calling her all the time, when she had said something, but I don't know if Kim is all the way racist. I don't
believe she's a
believe
racist
that.
at all.
Yeah. So, Beyonce buys a church in New Orleans for $900,000 or close to $900,000. It's they said it's a historic church in New Orleans. I'm thinking it's probably a Catholic church. It was built in the early 1900s. I have no idea what Beyonce is going to do with this church, but I think it's great that she has her own church, and maybe she can build a congregation. I don't know who's going to run it, what's going to go on, but you know, it's been in the news, so you know I want to make sure I bring that up. And like maybe a couple weeks ago, there was a Beyonce mass at a church in California.
A Beyonce mass.
A Beyonce mass. Now, I don't know if they were praising Beyonce throughout the thing. I don't know what it was about, but it was definitely at a church. Yes, it's very weird, and I wouldn't want to be a part of something like that, because when you go to a church, you're going there to worship God. Now, if you wanted to do something like as a tribute to Beyonce, you could do that anywhere, but why in a church and then say it's a mass? So it's not coming, you know.
Yeah. That's a little.
That's
weird. That's a little sad. And I love Beyonce, but that's not something. There's a time and there's a place, and you want to go and have a good time listening to Beyonce's music. This and the third thing. You have like a little party or whatever.
Yeah.
A Beyonce party at your house, but not at a church. But I'm reading up on this purchasing of this church, and the church that she reportedly purchased is a church that's no longer in commission anymore because it's been empty for a few years because I guess the members either they couldn't keep up with the bills or they it said something about them dying off, but everybody didn't die. Everybody didn't die. They just probably couldn't keep it up. You know, down in South Philly, and this is I'm getting off topic, but I'm not getting off the topic because it still has to do with churches. Down in South Philly, near where I work, they are tearing down a lot of churches and building homes. And I read in the newspaper about a month ago, there are a lot of historically black churches in South Philly that are being bought because they can no longer afford to keep up with what's going on down South Philly because of how they are building up these homes and things like that. And not only are they building up these homes, but they're making it harder and harder for these people. See, a lot of you that are not from Philly, you don't understand.
Philly is gentrifying.
Yes, and they're making it harder for these people to find parking because a lot of places down in South Philly where I work, they don't have parking lots and things like that. They're making it harder for them to find parking. It's really bad. They're trying their hardest to kick these churches out so they can tear them down and build up these homes.
Yeah, for white people.
Because remember I told you, they did that to us in our old building.
On 40th Street.
Penn kicked us out, and now in our old building, it's a Dunkin' Donuts for college students. So you know, it kind of bothers me every time I go down there and I see a Dunkin' Donuts in the place of where our old church building used to be, and we worshiped there for over 60 years. And the fact that I remember I sent my aunt a picture and she said, seeing this picture brings back so many memories, because I funeralized my mother in that church, my father in that church, relatives, we worship in the church, and to think that most of my family, we all grew up in that church building. And I know the building itself is not the church, but the building becomes the memories of it. Yeah. The memories of it. And to think that you tear this building down after 60 years of this congregation being here and turn it into a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. They're doing that to a lot of churches. Even
like, it's crazy.
The Catholic Church, they've been closing so many churches because they're losing members too.
But I feel like also too, I feel like where is the respect to the point that you're not even thinking about this congregation, you're thinking about dollar signs and...
Well, there's not enough people upset about what's going on.
You're right.
And fighting
You're
about
right. You're absolutely right. Because a lot of these churches, Kevin, when I was reading that article in the paper, are historically black churches, AME churches, African, you know, Methodist. They're just, it's like all of these churches are mostly black churches that are being torn down in these areas of South Philly that at one point we used to hold, but now, like you said, they're being gentrified, and now all these white folks are coming in and they're moving all these places out, and the first people they're going to are these churches. I'm like, well, listen, we'll give y'all this much money, and I feel bad because it's like it puts these congregations in a really bad spot, because it's bad enough a lot of them don't have those members like they used to. So it's like now, well, we kind of need the money. Yep. So we're taking it, and it's like, oh my God, like, it's like, what the heck? Like, it's so sad. There's one church around the corner from me, beautiful building. I did not even know, Kevin, and because I don't work on day shift anymore, I didn't even know that they tore the church down until one day I was driving past, and I was at the stop sign letting the car go, and I just happened to look, and I'm like, well, what are they doing construction work? Well, mind you, in the corner, and I'm not even paying attention. I'm like, what are they doing construction? The whole church was going, and it's a complex now.
Already in its spot.
Already in its spot.
Yeah.
And I've only been on night shift for a year this month. And I'm like, what the hell? And it was a beautiful building. Beautiful.
Thank God we're not down south, because these homes that they build up will be blown away.
Kevin, I keep saying that.
Yeah.
I keep saying that because they building them too fast. And you know, across the street where Tweet's friend Q lives at, and what's the name? Right directly across the street from them, they have brand new homes that they built. But then across the street from new homes, Brewery Town, they building up new. And as I was driving past it, I said, look at all this wood. You light a match to this, and this should all be up in flames.
Yeah.
But like you said, if we were down south, all of them would be blown because of the hurricane winds and all that. Because they, first of all, they're being built too fast. They're being built way too fast. And I don't
be up in a month.
Yeah.
Like,
I just told you that church, and this was a big church. It wasn't small. It's a big church, and I haven't even been going on night shift for a year. And it's all, and the homes is already up. And I'm like, what the heck? When did y'all tear the church down? First of all,
don't waste no time. Yeah, but maybe you can probably talk to your past. There's got to be somebody, a part of City Hall, that knows something about these churches, and maybe you can prevent them from being knocked down.
But see, majority of them that I was reading are in South Philly. And a lot of them are no longer, a lot of them are already in the process of being torn down because the congregations have already moved out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they can become like historical landmarks, because I know Pearl Bailey's house is around the corner on 23rd Street, and she has a landmark there. That means that house can never be knocked down. Maybe you guys can, I don't know if you into it, but yeah, something definitely has to happen.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Because you don't want them, these churches been around for so long, and you just don't want them to just be not there anymore. Like, across the street used to be a Catholic church, but that caught on fire, and they ain't had no choice but to knock it down. But they got the little mural up and stuff like that, and stuff still go on.
Were you living here when the church building was there or no?
No,
it was already
we lived in the
down.
projects. And
But you remember the building?
Yeah, I used to go there. We used to go
wow.
there. Yeah. And then once they closed, they had shut down another church, and then the church that we moved into, their people were declining, so we all had a big church, and they changed the name from St. Columba to St. Martin de Porres. Yep. And that was my church. I ain't been there in a long time. But that was my church.
It's so sad, especially somebody when you go to church and you know the importance and you know the memories that are built, and you feel bad. I feel bad for different congregations because I'm like, we too had that situation happen to us, and it's like the one girl that I had the big horny one. She, and I'm so envious of her. Because she, when they were tearing down our old church building, she actually went to the site and they actually let her in, and she was actually able to take a tour of the old building before they knocked it completely down, and she took pictures of it. And I said, I wish I was able to do that because I haven't been in that building since 1994. But the beautiful thing about it is, my pastor went down there to the site as they were tearing the building down, and they were able to give him a brick.
Okay.
And we have it in the back of our current building with a picture of the old church in front of it. So it's just, it was a lot of memories that came out of that particular building. A lot of memories. Yeah. And it's so sad though that you do that. It's so sad, and because you understand from the point of somebody when it comes to money, but then it's like it hurts your feelings because it kind of feels like y'all just basically saying, "What the hell with God's house?" I don't. Yeah. You know, it's like today's world is basically like, well,
everybody's getting that money. Even if letters coming here, can we buy your home?
Right.
And I tear them up, and I hope they don't ever.
Because they moving.
Yeah, they're getting closer.
Yeah, they moving.
They're getting closer. My cousin's house that's on Grass Street is now like a whole Temple block. It's nothing but Temple students in there.
Because right down, even where the clinic is at, they even got homes down there that they're starting, that they built up.
They're coming this way.
Yeah, they are.
And they want to knock down some homes so they can get the Temple's football football field. But a lot of residents ain't having it. But if Temple gets their way, those people will have to move anyway. And there's nothing they can do.
Because that's what happened with Penn. Our church was in the middle of Penn University's thing. The dorms that they had built up, all of that. The only two things that were there when my grandmother was alive back in 1994 that were still there in 2007 when we moved was our church building and that McDonald's. That McDonald's is still there, but you know McDonald's ain't going nowhere because that's money for, you know, so that's not going nowhere. But our church building, they tore that down.
Yep. If anything, if Temple want to learn anything from Penn, something I see whenever I'm in Penn, there is a guard on every corner at nighttime.
Yes, it is.
There's nothing going on down here. Y'all wooing all of these people into these North Philly streets, knowing that some of these people can't be trusted. You guys need better security. Them bike security, that ain't shit. You need people on every corner protecting these people. How many services have we heard a Temple student get killed or robbed?
And you rarely hear if anything like that in University City.
No, it's very rare.
Yep.
Very rare.
And then it's...
Yeah, but Temple need to step it up.
Yeah, they do.
You getting all these people coming down here and they're not protected. Yeah. There's like 4 Temple students have been killed this year alone. Now I'm not trying to discourage anybody from going to Temple. Right. But the security, they need to step their game up. Right. Because the way Penn security is, it's amazing. Right. And you can see them, they got on yellow, they bright. Ain't nothing going on.
And they're everywhere.
Yes.
And
ain't nothing going on them streets.
You're right.
Nothing. So Meek Mill,
I'm not gonna talk to nobody. I just gotta listen to the machine.
Meek Mill was gonna go to the White House, but they say that Jay-Z talked him out of it. But Jay-Z's people said Jay-Z had nothing to do with it. Meek Mill is saying that he spoke to, you know, different people, and they didn't think that it would be the best option for him because, of course, Donald Trump would use this as a photo op of him coming there, and it just wouldn't be a good look because also he could face a fan backlash because nobody wants to be seen with President Trump. But the reason that he was going there was because Donald Trump's his team they were going to have a meeting on prison reform, and that's something that Meek Mill is fighting for here in Pennsylvania, and he's actually been out there working. And that's one thing I will say, he's doing what he said he would do. You know, he's doing it, and I can't ask for anything else. But yes, him going to the White House, nothing would have been done. All it would have been some rapper Meek Mill there, and Donald Trump's never going to change.
Now, what I will say is these different types of forums have happened at the White House for years, not just with Donald Trump, but all different presidents. Now, it is not certain if Donald Trump was supposed to be at that forum, because a lot of these forums happen and the presidents don't attend. It's just forums that take
Trump
place
would have been
at
there.
Yeah, but but I don't think it was something that would have necessarily him being at. I think more so probably he would have showed up because somebody like Meek Mill was there. He tried to act like he has another black vote. You know,
that's exactly why he would do it.
A photo op, like you said. But I think that some people were a little iffy, because I saw some comments and some people were like, you know, they were upset about Meek even considering on going. But then some people were saying that this would have been a good opportunity to even expand his message with reform, and being as though he just got out of prison, and being as though he's a voice in the black community and in the young black community, that probably would have been a good look for him. So there were a lot of people who were conflicted. Me personally, I said the same thing. This is just a photo op for Donald Trump. It would have been a good look for Meek Mills to take it, but I think not. You don't have to necessarily have to go to the White House. He could have went somewhere else in D.C. and held this forum, or whatever the case may be. But I think that I'm confused at why Jay-Z's name even popped up. If Jay-Z says that,
they said like he's his
mentor,
signed to Rock Nation.
Yeah, but Jay-Z, if Jay-Z said he didn't have nothing to do with him not going, then why my name?
Yeah, well, I think Jay-Z would probably. I think if I was his team, I would say that he said no too. But and you know, Donald Trump called himself tweeting at Jay-Z. The same week he said, "Oh yeah, unemployment is low. The lowest. It would jump right sky high. It went back up again."
When he,
yeah.
But what did he have to say to Jay-Z?
Because Jay-Z was on Van Jones's show, and he was just. I can't remember exactly, but I know that he tweeted about having the lowest black unemployment in history, and then it jumped right back up at like the same week, and you didn't hear anything else from Donald Trump.
No, you never did.
Yeah, so you know, I think that if you're going to meet with Donald Trump and you're black, like I said before, because Steve Harvey made such a backlash, everything that you said to Donald Trump. When those reporters, when you was coming out of Trump Tower, you should say, "This is what I told the incoming president," or "This is what I told Donald Trump. I'm not here to meet him. I'm here for change." But you have to say this to the reporters, and you have to say that while he's there, so people will know that you're not going there just to be his friend. And everybody that was coming, everybody that was coming out that the Trump Tower. It looked like it was just all photo ops. He was coming down, his hand on your shoulder. Y'all was cool, but you never say what you discussed, and that's why so many people was upset. Steve Harvey, you said you claimed you Barack Obama encouraged you, but you haven't came out and said anything.
Right.
And all the stuff that's been going on, you haven't heard Steve Harvey say nothing. So it's just not a good look. And Kanye, what he did with Donald Trump. It's just not good for anybody black to be going there.
Right.
At all. You know. Until he changes, nothing will change. And, you know, we just had another shooting at a school in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Santa Fe, Texas. And it's horrible. But it's going to be one of those things where it's talked about. The funerals will happen and life is going to go right back to normal. But something has to be done. Something has to change. And if these leaders are going to have the NRA in their pocketbooks, nothing's ever going to change. But that's why it's very important to vote. And speaking of voting, I happened to watch Fox News yesterday while getting ready to go out. And I was watching the Greg Gutfeld show, and he was talking about how the Democrats really don't have a strong contender for Donald Trump in 2020. And they don't.
They don't.
And I mean, it was a good roundtable discussion, and they were just talking like Donald Trump is going to be reelected because who's going to stand up to him?
Right.
He's like, you can't do Hillary Clinton again. You can't do Bernie Sanders.
Well, she's not running.
Yeah. And he was like Joe Biden, but they don't they don't really think he's going to do it.
I think
his age play a factor.
Yeah, I think if Joe Biden doesn't run, I think it's because of his age. And I do think Joe Biden would be able to be a strong person against Donald Trump in debates. I really do. But the thing about Donald Trump is, Donald Trump, when he's debating, he's not somebody who debates presidential. He's debating you as if he's on the corner. The street corner, getting down and dirty. You see what I'm saying? I feel like that's how look what he did with Hillary Clinton when he brought Bill Clinton's accusers to the debate. That was so low that I never even thought of somebody actually doing something like that, because you would think that somebody in that position would be a little bit more professional. But he actually showed you how low he can be and invited them to the debate. Was just like a smack in the face. And I think that was the one debate where she didn't even shake his hand.
That was the second one.
Yeah, and when I think that was the debate when she didn't shake his hand.
Her, he was like, "Hound." Yeah,
but
that was the second. That was the second.
They don't have a strong contender right now. They really don't.
He said everybody is so, and I mean he was making points. He was like, everybody is so worried about impeaching Trump that no one is actually doing anything for change.
Now, who said
it's
this?
The same. It was on the Greg Gutfeld show.
And who was having this conversation?
Greg Gutfeld.
And who else?
He's a former pro wrestler named Tyrus, but he's actually on the show every week. Can't remember his name, the name he goes by, but it was the Greg Gutfeld show, and it comes on Fox. I know it had to be a repeat, but they also talked about the shooting, and I can't remember, but whatever was going on, it wasn't. Of course, it leaned towards their way, but it wasn't to where I was like, oh, I gotta turn this bullshit off. Like, I actually watched the segment, and sometimes I do watch Fox News because I like to hear an alternative to how I think. But some of the stuff that they be coming up with is just like deliberately like, you so worried about the left that you can't even talk about the wrong that Donald Trump does.
Doing, right.
Like, you're so focused on the economy, but what else is Trump doing? But they were just saying the guy was saying more of the same, just nothing's going to change, and it won't if no one won't step up. And I can't think of anybody young that can lead this Democratic Party. And we are 2 years away from a presidential election, and what the fuck?
And next year it starts.
Yeah.
Because next year in 2019 is when you start seeing the people come out and saying they're running for president.
Whoever run, you better have a clean whistle. You can't even have a Me Too. You can't have no sexual allegations. You can't have nothing.
I really do think that what's her name, Kamala Harris, would be good. I said that if Joe Biden was to run, I would like to see her as his running mate, because Joe Biden actually gave her props a few months ago when he was on The View, when they asked him who could you see running, and he said her. He said, I could so see her, I see her as a bright star in the Democratic Party. And I said, I actually can see that too, because in this past year she has really made a name for herself, especially with these hearings that's been going on in the Senate. And that's usually a lot of times where it starts at, where people start to get to notice you and whatever the case may be. And once they get to notice you, then they look you up and start looking up your different ideas or whatever. They're not saying that she's the only one, but I can see her rising. And I actually can see her, if she does go forward with it, having the black vote, but more importantly, having the black female vote, because black females get out there and they vote.
Yes, they do.
and
they vote for a black female.
Okay, and she's a smart black woman. You know what I mean? She's doing her damn thing right now. I could actually see her. Cory Booker, I'm still on the fence with him. You know who else I think may come out too? I think for some odd reason, I think this particular Democratic presidential thing, we're going to have a lot of African Americans. I think Deval Patrick from Massachusetts.
Yes, from Massachusetts, and he's a handsome man.
For some odd reason, because he's been very, very quiet, I can see him running. I feel like we're going to have. I think Cory Booker's going to try, but I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to go very far in the primaries. I don't.
No. And he's unmarried, and a lot of people are not going to like that.
I don't think he's going to go far at all.
I don't know, but we gotta get some contenders out here, because you would think that they would be Maxine Waters can't run. You know, she got a little popularity now.
But she's not.
But
Yeah,
no.
she's not. No.
So what are we gonna do? Who knows? I don't know.
I would like to see somebody younger, like a Kamala Harris, or somebody around that age, Cory Booker in their 40s or 50s, whatever case may be. Joe Biden, I would like to see him, but Joe Biden is pushing 80.
Yeah.
And by 2020, he'll be 2 years from 80. So that's, yeah.
At this point, I think everyone's saying anybody but Trump, and then
Yeah.
they're like, if we get rid of Trump, then Pence. It's just, I don't know. It's just too much going on right now in our country. If I was to go out the country, I probably wouldn't even say I'm from America, because that's the whole conversation right there. It's the whole conversation, and we have gone through all of those stuff for the Billboard Awards. And I just want to give a shout out to Janet Jackson. Now, this is my thing. Janet, that shit was too short, and you know it. You came out there for like 5 minutes, every bit of 4 minutes and 20-something seconds.
And a lot of people were excited about seeing her perform.
Today should have been the day where everyone is talking about Janet Jackson.
And nobody is.
Nobody's talking about her. Now, y'all know that's my girl.
And it's crazy, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's crazy because they're talking about all the other performances but hers.
Yeah. I mean, she had them chanting her name.
Right.
They went off of her, but Janet, that should have been longer, and you should have did more songs. This is to show these young motherfuckers why you are the icon. And I mean, I wasn't a fan of the sweater. I feel like I'm going to bash her, and I don't want to do that.
And the crazy thing about it is, I had to get Kevin together earlier today because he texted me about Janet. And y'all know it's very rare when I'm taking up for different artists, because y'all know I was taking up for Beyonce. But today, I was taking up for Janet Jackson in our text message because he texted me some bullshit.
Don't talk about what it was about.
But I kept telling him, like, no, that's not the case. And I'm like reading the messages, and I'm like, I'm sitting here defending her like this is Beyonce. Like,
he made me feel better about some stuff.
Yeah, because he was talking stupid in my messages, and I'm like, that's not
nervous.
the case.
I'm nervous.
No.
I'm just like, yeah.
I just
wish
thought she looked
yeah.
really beautiful. I really did.
wish she would have performed longer, but you got to see her on tour. That should have been no longer.
Wasn't that the Billboard Awards when Beyonce did that Run the World, and she got up there and thanked
that
was the Billboard Awards, right?
That was
that was a performance.
The best. Yeah,
that was a performance.
that was everything. Okay, don't try Janet.
No, I didn't see Janet's performance, so I can't judge her because I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I just saw the pictures.
I just felt like it should have been longer because she had them on their feet. You had them in the palm of your hand. You started out in the center of the stage, the center of the audience. You did your walk to the stage. You went up, you went down. You had the little transition of the old school songs or the songs that we as the fans know. So I went off of that, and then
it was over.
It was over. It was over.
Yeah, it was over.
Like, bitch, what? They got Janet's first performance in 10 years and gave us every bit of 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Maybe 4 minutes and 15
Well, she's
seconds.
good for disappointing.
Don't do that. Don't do that. But her mother was there, Rebe was
all.
there,
I didn't like that mother.
Austin Brown was there. Like, I said, look at them. And I even went and watched Rebe's Centipede video.
Why is Warm Daddy's closed?
On a Monday?
On a Monday.
Probably because it's Monday.
The fuck? I can't find no place that has soul food, and I'm starving.
Did you see if Country Cooking was open? You said
They're closed too. They don't open back up until later on this week.
Oh, probably because I'm about to say
Who
because
knows?
Claudia, because Sylvia, what's her name?
Sylvia.
Saudia is on the. Saudia was just in the hospital.
Sylvia.
Still, let's go to Sylvia's.
No, I think that's how she does it, and she only opens up like
When she's
I think it
there?
says Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then,
Oh, she must make her coins.
Oh yeah, she got. Well, they be in there.
Yes.
Kevin, I drive past there and they be packed.
We,
You like, oh my
we need
God.
to do a review of her food because I want to see what it's about. I've never.
Well, I
had
told you I had a planner. It was good.
I know, but I need to go. We need to go. I want to go and see.
So Janet, you weren't too thrilled about the length of the performance,
No,
but she did a good job.
Yes, and the dancers. She even had the people who she picked from Instagram, the dancers. They were up there performing with her, and they were so surprised and everything. Like Janet is preparing herself for a comeback. I can tell because she's on Instagram.
What kind of comeback? I thought she's already came back.
No, like a big, like when she drops this album.
Oh, an album
it's going to
comeback.
be like a big comeback because she's doing interviews with Billboard. She was all over People magazine. They were there for Janet's reveal of who's going to be the dancers. She's just on Instagram more. She was even on Instagram Live on the red carpet. Like, Janet is really like embracing this new age thing. But girl, you gotta be like how Missy took over Katy Perry's halftime show. Janet could have done that, because even Salt and Pepper, bitch, they did that damn thing for 10 minutes or just about.
They had a longer set than her.
Yes, everybody had a longer set than Janet. Everybody.
And that was Janet's idea, because I'm sure Billboard would have gave her longer.
They should have. She should have done it longer. I loved her speech.
My favorite Janet video of all time is when she did that commercial for MTV them years ago. When she
Yes!
was with the people. And she left out of that room. And she came back in, and that was the loudest I ever heard her again. And she said, "Don't you ever talk to me like that again, bitch." That was a skit. What? That's when MTV used to make. That's when MTV was worth watching.
And that's when her and MTV made up, because MTV wasn't playing Janet after that Super Bowl stunt no more.
Yeah, and she came back and did that commercial, and I said that was awesome. She went in there, I think it's supposed to be rehearsing.
Yeah, for making a band.
Yeah, and she was in it, and they kind of was dismissing her, like, all right, well, we'll get to it. And she was like, and she left out the room and came back and, "Don't you ever." That happened to me at church one day.
Really?
Yeah, got nasty with me. And I had to leave out of the room to gather myself. And then I went back in the room and said, "Don't you ever talk to me like," and I used those words too, "Don't you ever talk." And one of the ladies came to me and said, "Do me a favor. Don't do that again. Don't ever let somebody get you that upset." Because I was so upset. And I went and said, "Don't you ever talk to me like that again." And I had to leave out and say, "Did this motherfucker
talk to you like that?"
And then I went back in, and it was actually one of the old mothers. She came to me and said, "Listen here, don't do that ever again. You don't ever let somebody get you that upset that you do that. Don't do it again." And she got me together, and she was right. I couldn't even get mad.
But that's not the one you was mad at.
No, that's not the. I wouldn't talk to one of the mothers like that. No, but she was in the vicinity when I said, "Don't you ever talk to me like that again." And she heard. She came and "Don't do that again." She said, "I saw you walk out, and you should have stayed out, but you came back in." Now you talk to me like that again.
Oh, I remember we used to talk about those board meetings. Yes.
And it's not church. It's church folks that'll make you really mad. But I felt that when Janet did that. I love that commercial. Oh, that is by far my commercial.
Yes. But I'm just happy that Janet's back. I feel like, yeah, this is just the beginning. This is the beginning of something that is coming. Like Bruno Mars introduced her. I would love for her to work with him. I would love for her to work with Sierra. I'm wanting this because I think it should happen. Like, Janet has to make it happen. Because I remember when, after Leah passed, and Janet said, like, I was going to work with her, it just never worked. We never had the time. And Janet, you got all this time now. You got your son. You out here going on tour and stuff. And you're recording, and you're talking about where you get your inspirations from, and you talking about these new artists, like you talked about SZA. You went to the go see the girl Her, like all these people. I feel like she could do some collaborations.
Who's Janet?
Yeah, she don't do many, and if she do any, it got Missy, and that's it. And
But that's a good.
something.
But that her and Missy love each other.
Yes.
But I wish that she would do something with Sierra.
Yes,
I really do.
Has that. And Sierra, she was going off for those 4 minutes and 22 seconds. She was going off. I was just happy, but not the package wasn't longer than her performance, but they gave Janet an awesome tribute package, and then she came out there and did it, and I was just when you heard the crowd chanting Janet, I was just so happy. I was just like, yes, bitch, yes, you got them in the palm of your hand, and then the speech was amazing, and she referenced Me Too. And she talked about God. She didn't say, how they be like Jehovah. She referenced God.
Well, that is his name.
Yeah,
Jehovah.
I know, but she didn't do that because I don't know what religion she's under.
Right, because it's like when the kids got older, you don't know if they were still
Jehovah's Witness or not.
But the mother still is.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't get over that when the mother said she was out. Yeah, I heard that. Was out witnessing the day when Michael Jackson died.
She was what?
Witnessing.
Catherine. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was out witnessing the day that he died. And I can't, like...
Well,
Wow.
if she came to your house, I'm sure you would invite her in. So I don't think...
Yeah, I would invite her in. Well...
Ain't nobody slamming doors in Captain Jackson's face. But I found myself watching different clips on YouTube. Like, I seen Rebe Jackson Centipede. I watched her interview on The View.
Wasn't that Rebe with her last night?
Yes.
With the mom?
But Barbara Walters was a bitch to Rebe Jackson on The View after Michael died.
What did she
Like, she just like, yeah, is your family trying to get the money? Like, I had my source say that it's been a lot of confusion going on. Like, damn, she just sat down.
Right.
And she's like, you probably don't even know who she is because such. Like, I just like, Barbara Walters was a bitch.
But you know what's so funny? Because even though Barbara Walters may have been a bitch, she was asking the very question that everybody in this country was asking.
But it's the way she was asking.
Can you imagine the way people say it at home in their kitchen table?
Oh, God.
Oh, I know they trying to steal that money.
But when you sitting on that couch, you
I get what
feel
you're
like
saying.
you are invited.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Barbara, as soon as she said, "Damn," something must have went on. I don't know, but yeah, it was just crazy that Barbara Walters. That's not the Barbara I remember. It was no fun. It was straight to business, bitch. Now, what's going on? Who got the kids?
We're not gonna sugarcoat this because we only got limited time. Now, where's this money?
Now I heard y'all fighting about the money. Are you mad?
What did she ever make up with her niece?
What's your niece?
Paris. Remember they was going at it that one time right after Michael died and Paris was on the internet?
I'm sure they probably did.
Well, I wonder why they didn't get Paris interviews.
And then I watched Tito's interview on I watched Tito's interview on Wendy Williams from a couple years ago. It was good. Everything was good. But ABC is showing something the last hours of Michael Jackson. I am not watching.
And we just talked about how Michael was resting in fucking peace.
Yes. The last days of Michael Jackson.
I might watch it.
Who wants to watch? I'm not watching it.
I want to see
you watching and tell me how it was.
I want to see it. I'll see what's going on in the last few days.
What is that noise? I don't know. You know what? Let me stop. Yeah, I just don't want to see it.
There's a lot going on here, so you don't know. Shut your mouth.
I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
The last few days of 2219. Because let me tell you something.
Stop. So we're going to go. You guys have a great week. On Wednesday, for the sponsors, we will see you at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Be ready to talk because I will be opening up the phone lines.
I know that's right.
And please make sure that you get your tickets for our 10th anniversary show if you haven't gotten them. And we will see you guys. Yes, the link is in the more info box. And we will see you guys on Wednesday and Thursday. Peace.
Yes. Did somebody just yell?